How to do a sales networking pitch that wins business. When you get a chance to go networking, and you get the chance for you to stand up and say who you are and what you do to an audience of maybe 15, 20 other people in the room, some people absolutely fly through it and other people absolutely flop through it. And in this video, I'm going to share with you all the things you need to do to make that networking pitch stand out and give you the chance to win business. My name is James White, small business sales expert, man that loves helping great businesses get great results. Let's get into it and see what you need to do to make sure that your pitch stands out from the crowd. So networking is a huge opportunity for anyone that's in business to make people aware of what they are and what they do. But many people get it so badly wrong. I see lots of people on a regular basis do some of the things that I definitely don't encourage you to do. Because what it'll do is it'll put people off you and it'll basically make you really actually not stand out as being someone of interest and someone that people want to have a conversation with. So let's dig into the don'ts before we start looking at how you should approach it. Point number one is this. Don't stand there staring at your shoes. The reality is if you're talking at a networking event like this, even though you feel nervous, it isn't going to do any good. Don't look at your shoes, look at the audience and start to identify maybe one or two people that are hopefully giving you some good vibes in that connection that you can then try and bounce off. But the key thing is if you stand looking at your shoes, it's going to end up in a failure. The second point is this. Don't be too creepy and stare. I've been in networking sessions where people have been literally staring at me and looking at me and as well as they're giving their pitch, and it starts to freak me out. And especially if you've got people from different types of people in the room, you could be in a position just because you've seen someone that you think you like or whatever, if you start staring at them, it's going to make them feel uncomfortable and that's going to spread across the room. That vibe's going to kick out. So we don't want to be in a position where we're too creepy and stare at people. Try and look around and try and move the gaze. Maybe fixate on one or two, three or four people within different parts of the room and move around as you're talking through what you're actually saying. And the key thing is this, don't be monotone. This is what my company does. This is actually how we operate. We want to do this and this is what we do. It's monotone, it's boring, it sends people to sleep. People will be glad it's only for 1 minute. I've actually been in a room where people have spoken like that for 30 minutes and it absolutely bores the hell out of people. So those are the things not to do. But what is the best way to deliver a 1 minute networking pitch that can really work? So if you want to deliver a pitch that really works, these are the three things I really recommend you put in place. Point number one is who you are and what is it you do. Hi, my name is James White and I'm a sales trainer for investment managers and finance professionals. And I work to give that introduction that's clear about who you are and your company name and what you do. It's a great way, especially if you can speak clearly and maybe a little bit slowly to make sure if you've got a more unusual name to make people aware of what you're about. Point number two, and this is especially if you've got a 1 minute pitch, you can't go on forever and a day around what you do and what you're about. I try and focus on this. What problem do you solve and what impact does it have? I particularly work to solve problems for people that are struggling to sell and are unsure of how to ask questions and to engage with potential clients, and the impact I have is I help them drive new business that makes them feel happy and contented. Give people an indication of the problem that you can solve and the impact you can have for them. Bear in mind, people don't actually buy the problem or service that you actually sell, they buy the outcome of it. They buy what the impact it gives for them. So try and identify what impact it is that you do in your business. You can also at this stage maybe include a couple of examples, if you have time, of maybe other clients that you've worked with. For example, you could say something like this. We work with financial services companies to help their investment management team really understand different types of buyer behaviour, and we actually make a big impact by helping them do more business with their current clients. An example of this is a current client I'm working with, and we're doing a training program for 40 of their investment managers, and the impact already is extraordinary. What that does is give people a clear indication of who you are and what you can potentially do for them. And even if you can't do something for them, they may know someone that you can help. So the final way to finish this is to make sure you end with a bang and leave a clear call to action. So a great way you could finish it would be, I'm really excited about helping other investment managers in the local community and within the local area. And I've got a free resource that I'm giving away to 10 of the first people that come back to me. It's a course that's helping them achieve great things. And if you'd be interested in having a copy of that, which is completely free for your investment management company, please contact me afterwards or click here to get a copy of the guide. What that does is it ends with a clear call to action that enables someone that could be interested to think, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. Of course, people are going to have business cards and they can have access to your social media, but the key thing you want people to do is leave with a clear call to action. Another call to action could be, I've produced a referral guide that outlines where I'm a good fit in order to refer me to people that you may know, and I'd love to be able to do the same for you. Or another call to action could be, I'm trying to arrange one-to-ones with 3 or 4 people within the network, and I've got 4 slots next week. Who'd like to have a one-to-one with me? When you start finishing with a clear call to action and ending with an impact like that, it can actually drive people to think, yeah, I'd love to have that conversation, or I'd love to get that guide, or I'd like to think about he could be or she could be useful for this other contact. The reality is we don't have long long, we've only got a minute. So by the time we put all of that together, it's got to come through and it's got to feel comfortable and it's got to hopefully make other people think, hey, there's someone of interest that I want to have that conversation with. So with that outline in place, you're going to be in a great position to deliver an effective pitch. But here are 5 other things you can potentially try to weave maybe into your networking pitch that can make you stand out even more. Point number 1 is this. Maybe ask an engaging question. Who in the room today has done all their Christmas shopping? For example, could be a question you'd ask, and that might bring up a bit of user interaction. But just be careful about asking an engaging question that prompts a response from the audience, eat into the 1 minute time you've got to actually share your story. But maybe asking an engaging question or a thoughtful question that can make people think and actually connect that to you is a great way to try and build some rapport and get people to think, wow, they're quite helpful. Point number 2 is use a statistic. A statistic could be something like 9 out of 10 people in this room are going to suffer from this disease over the course of the next 10 years. Or something that's quite powerful or strong that makes people think, wow, I didn't know that. That might come from your knowledge or your input or things that you've identified. And what it can help people do is really think, wow, that person's helpful, they know things, I didn't realize that. And again, sharing a statistic or one that's quite unique or different can make you stand out. Point number 3 is share a story. You could even start your pitch after you've introduced your name and who you are by saying, I want to share a quick story with you about a person that a few days ago was walking their dog through the park and boom, boom, boom. What it does is help the user then start to picture that scenario and situation. As consumers and buyers and people, we're all about making connections with things that we see rather than just the words we hear. The 4th thing you can also try is to have a prop or a giveaway. Maybe you've got something that's a giveaway that you give away in your company. I know one of the companies I'm involved with has a green hat that they wear and give out some green hats. Or there's someone else that I went to a networking event and she was involved in the promotion of goods business and she gave out a small gift. The key thing is having a prop or a giveaway is a great way to make people remind themselves of you and who you are and connect them potentially to something that you might want to do business with in the future. Well, point number 5 is this. Try some comedy. If you think you're going to tell a joke, if you think you want to be funny, hey, try and do that. Try and making people laugh is a great way to build affinity in a networking situation. But be warned and be careful. I've seen people try or say jokes that ultimately are just bad taste and make people actually dislike them rather than warm to them. So there are 5 things to try to give yourself the chance to weave into your presentation. But if you've got the ability to start doing these things, how can you start to practice? How can you start to get better at networking? And how can you start to make sure that 1 minute pitch goes more effectively? Let's have a look at a simple way in which to approach this. So here are 3 simple ways in which you can look to improve the way in which you deliver your networking pitch. The reality is you're never going to be as good on the first time as you are on the 15th time. And the more networking you do and the more practice you have, the better you're going to be at it. But here's a little way in which you can start to make sure you get better at it so that you lose some of those nerves that happen when someone says it's your turn to stand up. Number 1 is this. Record on your phone your voice only. Listen to how you sound. Maybe have it written out in front of you of what you're going to say and just record it to actually see how it sounds and also to see how long it takes. Much of the time, people write down a whole host of information and when they look at how much time it's taken them to record, it's taken nearly 2 minutes. Write down what you're going to say and then listen to your voice. Just be able to understand where your tonality is. Do you sound monotone like I said? Or have you got that engaging tone that makes people think you're worth someone worth listening to? Point number 2 is then this. Practice in front of the mirror. Start to look at your facial expressions when you say key points of interest, when your eyebrows go up or maybe down, when you start to maybe look in an unsure way or to look happy. The reality is we want to be able to understand how we deliver. Albert Morabian talked about how the delivery of your message is just as important as the words you say. So making sure that you can look at your facial expressions is really key. And my 3rd point that I'd encourage you to then do is put your phone on a tripod and video yourself. Have a look at your posture, your body language, the way in which your body moves at different points in time to engage with different people in the audience. If you can start to then really practice and identify how you're delivering your pitch, you're going to be in a far better position to master it and get better at it and make the audience really stand out and think, wow, that person's someone worth talking to. The key thing is this, put those 3 things in place. If we don't practice, if we don't start to develop and improve our skills, we're never going to get the chance to deliver that great pitch which we want that can really make that impact, because you never know who could be in the audience that could potentially be a new business opportunity for you. So the other final key point around networking and making sure you deliver an effective pitch, smile. One of the things I get told too much is I don't smile enough. My wife criticizes me for it, and you're right. I sometimes look at myself on video and think, I frowned in that position. Try and smile, try and be natural, try and feel good and have that conversation with people. Especially if you're feeling nervous. Everyone knows that people are nervous in these situations, and sometimes smiling at someone makes them smile back at you and helps warm up the atmosphere. So the reality is smiling. Smiling is a great way to cure things. It brings people closer to you, and if you're doing that, rather than being miserable and looking a bit dour, it's going to warm people to you. So there you have it. There's my simple tips on how to deliver an effective networking sales presentation or pitch that gives interest, that creates intrigue, and that potentially stands you a chance of winning good business. Be clear about who you are and what you do. Be clear about what problem you solve and the impact you have, and really then look to end with a bang and have a clear call to action. And if you can put those things into place and avoid those don'ts that I remember, and have practiced what you do and remember to smile, you're going to deliver a great pitch that you can then tweak and evolve over time, and it's going to make you stand out. It's going to want others to come to you and arrange meetings or conversations or potentially refer you, and it's going to hopefully generate more leads into your pipeline that can help you do business. I hope it's been helpful, but if you haven't, what other tips and techniques have you used in networking? Maybe you've got some other phrases or information that you use. I'd love to hear them. Put them in the comments below so we can help everyone around the world that gets sales and understands the need to network and do business to learn techniques that can give them the chance to win. My name is James White. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, I'd love for you to share this channel with other people, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you get access to my videos every week. And the key thing is I want to make sure I'm supporting you to grow and get the business success you want. So let me know what I can do to serve you and help you more. If there's other videos I can create, let me know. But the key thing is put these things in place for networking and you're going to be in a great position to make this year a brilliant one. See you next week.